The Shin Megami Tensei games are games I'll always make time for, and 2021 has been a pretty good year for the series, with the likes of the remaster of Shin Megami Tensei V Nocturne coming out earlier in the year, and of course, the guest of honour for today's review, Shin Megami Tensei V, finally getting released after initially being revealed in 2017. Of course, as a disclaimer, this review will contain spoilers out of context. In Shin Megami Tensei V, you play as a high school student whom you can name attending school in Tokyo. A recent series of events involving murders have been taking place, and the school introduces a buddy system when travelling to and from school for the safety of their students. Your character is invited by fellow student Atsuta Yuzuru, remember, family names first with Japanese names, to travel home with his group consisting of the two of you, Yuzuru's sister Miyazu, and Isono Kami-tao, a female student in the same year as yourself and Yuzuru. Upon reaching the station, you find it's been blocked off due to one of the murder incidents, and Miyazu asks you to look for her brother, as both he and Tao are missing. In reality, Yuzuru has gone off looking for another student, Dazai Ichiro, who has wandered off to livestream himself confirming a rumour about the existence of monsters at a nearby underpass. As you approach the underpass, Yuzuru shows up before a sudden earthquake transports you to what appears to be a ruined Tokyo. You wake up to find Ichiro being abducted by an angel, and as you begin your pursuit, you are attacked by demons. Fortunately, a mysterious being known as Aogami appears and fuses with you, becoming a Nahobino, a forbidden being and the key to the main plot of this game. Following the trend of previous Shin Megami Tensei games, the game has an alignment system in which you can join the forces of law or chaos, or you can choose to reject them by acting as a neutral party. The game also retains the classic system of recruiting demons to fight alongside you via negotiation or fusion as well. The game features over 200 demons for you to fight against or alongside as you shape the fate of the human race. But is this game any good? Find out in The Good. The core gameplay elements of the Mega 10, short for Megami Tensei games, are still there, and there's been some changes for Shin Megami Tensei V. Demon negotiation is a key part of recruiting new allies, and I really like how the ability for demons to speak with one another has been expanded on from Nocturne, with certain demons having personalised conversations. The moon phase also affects demons' behaviour during a full or new moon. A full moon also affects demon fusions, with fusion accidents more likely to happen, resulting in an unexpected surprise. The game also does not have alignment-locked demons, so you won't be locked out of chaos-aligned demons if your decisions in the game are tailored more towards lore and vice versa, which really gives you more freedom to experiment with your team. Shin Megami Tensei V introduces some new features, such as the Magatsuhi system. As you explore and battle demons, a Magatsuhi bar will gradually fill up, and when filled you have Magatsuhi skills available which provide you with benefits at the cost of draining the bar, such as having all of your attacks be critical hits for a turn, for an example. Skills differ depending on the type of demons you have available, and you will unlock new Magatsuhi skills as you progress throughout the game and complete side quests. As you explore the world, you'll also find orbs which the Nahobino will absorb. Red orbs will fill the Magatsuhi bar, green orbs will replenish your health, and yellow orbs will replenish your magic power, which you'll need for skills and spells. Also found while you explore are abscesses. These are obstacles which cloud your map with a purple miasma, making navigation using the minimap more difficult, and icons showing where treasures are will not appear. As you approach abscesses, they will spawn demons to attack you, and once you get close enough, you'll have to fight a set of demons to destroy the abscesses. Demons spawned by the abscesses cannot be recruited, and their weaknesses will initially be hidden, even if you have the information on the demon or one in your party. However, the benefit to destroying abscesses aren't just clearing up the map. For each abscess destroyed, the Nahobino will learn miracles, which can be purchased using glory. Glory can be found on the map or given out as a reward for side quests or by defeating a certain Magatama enemy. Miracles provide permanent benefits such as increasing the Nahobino's proficiency in certain skills, the number of demons you can have in stock, and even the amount of skills the Nahobino and demons can learn, to name a few. There are some other quality of life changes such as the light Hama and the dark Mudo skill lines dealing damage, as well as the chance that they will instantly kill a target weak to the respective element. The press turn system returns from Nocturne, in which a critical hit, or if you correctly hit an enemy's weakness, will enable you to have an additional turn, while missed attacks and having your attacks voided or absorbed, or reflected, will reduce the amount of turns available. This also applies to the enemy too, so having a good balance and a strategy where your team is strong against certain elements is a big part of staying alive, as it only takes an enemy getting lucky with their attacks or their instant kill attacks killing off the Nahobino to get a game over. Demon essences are a new part of the game, allowing the Nahobino and demons to learn new skills, or in the Nahobino's case, change what elements you are strong and weak against. Essences can be obtained by leveling up demons, defeating them, or as rewards. Some essences are available for purchase as you progress. When you first encounter the shopkeeper Gustav, he will also request for you to find his Meman servants who have been spread across the world. There are 200 of them to find, and Gustav will reward you with items you can use in battle, essences, and items which can increase the Nahobino and demon statuses. Finding the Meman is a good incentive to explore the whole area, and you'll be often thinking to yourself, how the hell am I going to get over there as you see them on the map? These detail some of the major changes to the gameplay which I liked. The game's story, while personally not as strong as the first two Shin Megami Tensei games, the fourth game and Strange Journey, was still something I really enjoyed. While I found it was a little slow to begin with, it does pick up the further you go in. There are also DLC missions which provide you with a little bit of story and demon for you to recruit after you defeat them. The game makes a lot of nods to Nocturne, and one piece of DLC reintroduces a key subplot of Nocturne with the inclusion of the Fiends. The Fiends are challenging battles in which the Nahobino will have to fight for superiority and ownership of the Menaras. While not as important in plot as it was in Nocturne, it was a really nice callback to it. Without spoiling too much, the plot does incorporate elements of Christianity, Shintoism and Buddhism, and ties them in very well to how they influence events in the game. While I feel character development, especially for your friends, aren't as good as the other games in the series, I still think character motives are pretty solid, and your decisions in the game will help influence how strongly you are aligned when you reach the moment of truth. I do recommend completing the side missions, as some of those also add information about the game's events, or the story, and who knows, maybe completing some of them may pay off later on. The music is good, though I personally prefer the music from earlier installments, but that's more subjective, so each to their own there. However, the game does have its share of faults, and I think we'll cover those in the bad. The gameplay elements are a double-edged sword. In previous games, demons would ask for things from you such as marker, the game's currency, HP, MP, or items before they consider joining. Some demons, even after being given all of these things, might not even want to join you and will just up and leave, wasting your time, money and resources. Other demons may require additional skills or requirements so you can even understand them. This isn't present in this game, as once you get through the initial questions a demon has and they start asking you for things, as long as you can provide, you might as well say that you've recruited them. From the 70 plus hours I've spent, and this is from start to finish, I have not once had a demon take my items and then leave, which is really disappointing. I also feel that the need to debuff enemies isn't as important in previous games. Once I had a dedicated team with certain demons providing me with buffs, it wasn't too often the enemy would even attempt to debuff me, or I would have to debuff the enemy to get by. Even if I did, buffs and debuffs only last for 3 turns. While this makes enemies such as the Fiends more manageable, I generally found the strategy of buffing your party, then wailing on the enemy using the Mk.II skill, which makes all of your attacks critical for 1 turn, an effective strategy to pretty much beat just about every challenge in the game, with the difficulty level more or less affecting how hard the enemies hit and how much they can take. With the amount of marker you get in the game, you can easily afford items to discover an enemy's weakness, as well as elemental shards and gems for you to take advantage of their weaknesses, if you don't have a corresponding skill, thus maximising your turn potential. While I can understand some of these elements were to make it more accessible, I just can't say that I agree with all of them, as it does impact the challenge I was more accustomed to with other games in the series. The only other gripe I do have is with performance issues. While I suspect that this is due to the limitations of the Switch, the draw distance and pop-in of environments as well as the loading of textures are very noticeable. The game also suffers from frame dips from time to time, and while these didn't affect key parts of the game, you saw them often enough for it to be considered a minor nuisance. The game also employs lower frames for things off in the distance as well, and it's clearly noticeable when looking at demons or people in the distance and then either approaching them or waiting for them to get closer to you. Other than that, I think I've covered all I wanted to talk about here, so let's summarise as I give the opinion. Shin Megami Tensei V is a game that does not disappoint. The scale of the game and the encouragement to explore and try out demon combinations are things that I really liked. Some of the quality of life changes to the gameplay worked in the game's favour, while others not so much. The game's story and music is still solid despite the minor reservations I have regarding it, and the performance issues I had with the game is just a result of hardware limitations which, as I mentioned earlier, doesn't affect key parts of the game, but are just enough to be noticeable and a minor nuisance. If you enjoyed Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, you'll get a kick out of this game with the amount of nods made to Nocturne, though knowing the other games in the Shin Megami Tensei series isn't a requirement to enjoy this one. It's been a long time since we've gotten a new mainline Shin Megami Tensei game on a console, but was it worth the wait? My answer is yes, and if JRPGs and the monster raising formula are your thing, then I think you'll enjoy this game. So with that, it's time for my rating. I would give Shin Megami Tensei V Hellbiker out of 10. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next Infinite Backlog review. If you enjoyed today's review, feel free to check out some of our other videos and subscribe for more. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram and our Facebook page. Once again, thank you for watching.